What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben, and welcome back to the bench, guys, for a brand new episode here on Ben Builds with Joe. We are back on the 1/48 scale Hasegawa MC205 Veltro, and today we're going to focus on the cockpit. We've got our colors set aside. We've got that nice Gunzy interior green, plus an assortment of other colors by Vallejo for the exterior camouflage. We won't get to that just yet. We're going to stick with that cockpit, so let's keep that color handy, and let's get into it. Now, I've been studying our instructions and our references, and I'm pretty sure that the instructions are actually really good, and this kit has a lot of details already inside. However, as you know, we can always add a bit more. So what I've done here is I've gone through this walk-around series by squadron. This is what we're going to be using for the majority of our cockpit, for the details, the colors, and of course, any of the wiring. So let's go ahead and jump into our first time lapse. I want to go ahead and just basically set up the cockpit, do all the assembly that I can without putting on the sidewalls to the floor. Then I want to add in some wires, some scratch built details. I want to punch out some discs of styrene, go ahead and position those around the different areas, maybe make some switch boxes and get this thing looking a little bit more lived in. We'll see what we can do. So onwards and upwards, guys, let's jump in there. Let's get this party started. All right, everybody. So that was a lot of fun. We added in some wires and some discs and some different switch plates and all sorts of craziness. So I'm really happy with how that has turned out. But of course, we're going to have to turn our attention over to the seat because we need to add in some seat belts. And of course, this is the Italian style harness, which does have a lot of little intricate belts and buckles, even has some chain for the bottom portion of the harness. So there's a lot we need to go ahead and do with this. And I'm hoping that we can maybe scratch build this if we've got it in us. If not, I think Joe had an extra seatbelt set that we could potentially use, but I hate taking that away from him. So we're going to see what we can do first with scratch building. And if it's too frustrating, we'll grab the set from Joe. Also, we need to go ahead and paint up some of the details here, as well as the cockpit sidewalls and all that good stuff. So first off, let's grab our instructions, check out what colors are going to go where. And as you can see, we already have a little bit of a discrepancy because the instructions tell us to go ahead and paint the majority of the instrument panel that interior green, and then come in and paint over the different instruments with black. However, our references show them to be all flat black. Let's go with the references. We're going to paint them all flat black, and then we'll move on with it. So back in there, guys, let's keep on trucking. Let's go ahead and do all the painting and then get into some weathering and see what we can do with some panel line accent washes. All right, guys, let's keep it moving. We're almost there. All right, everybody. So we are back, and as you can see, we have our painted and finished cockpit right here. This came off really, really well. So I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. Just a little bit of panel line accent wash, and we were able to kind of pop some of that detail and give it a little bit of a worn look and add in some shadows. Then I took some of our clear mineral spirit, went in there and tried to remove a little bit here and there. It did kind of bite pretty hard into the flat coat, so that's not great, but I think it looks okay, and I'm not really too worried about it. It really pops that detail, and that's what I was going for. So yeah, let's go ahead and give you guys a close-up here, and we can check out some of the parts. You will notice I haven't done anything with the inside of the fuselage halves. I don't know how much you're really going to see, so we'll have to look into that a little bit later. But yeah, let's go ahead and check out the cockpit floor. And this is as it is right now. We did a little bit of our panel shading around here and there, added in some of those straps for the rudder pedals. That is in, added in some wiring there on the control control stick and just tried to make it look a little bit more lived in. Honestly, it's okay, not great, but it'll work. Then for our sidewalls, this is where I spent most of my time. I did add in some wires, added in some extra parts and pieces, and I did add in this extra cylinder here. It was in my references. I don't know what it does, maybe oxygen of some sort, but it did show up in some of the pictures, so I added that in, and then went ahead and drew in some of the other panels with some panel line accent. And as you notice, it really did bite into that flat coat, so it's interesting. I like the look of it. For the other side as well, a little bit harsher on this side with that panel line accent wash, but we did add in all the wiring. We added in some braided cabling as well. Also, something I saw in the references. We painted up some of that wiring with a silver color and added in some details here and there. Again, not the greatest job weathering, but I think it'll pass for this build. Now for the instrument panel, I went ahead and overcoated that with a NATO black and then came back and dry brushed it with silver. Then I came in with some red and some white, picked out some of the switches. For the seat, I just painted it silver, nothing fancy there. That is a Tamiya flat aluminum, and I think it looks okay. But that is it, guys. We are done for today. Just a real quick update. The fuselage still needs a little bit of work, but the cockpit instrument panel, I think, looks pretty nice. We do have to go ahead and make those seat belts, though, and maybe do a little bit of detail there on the gauges. But other than that, I think we are ready to go ahead and next episode, get this thing glued together, get it into the fuselage, and then button up the fuselage halves. I've noticed it actually looks pretty good. The fit does not look terrible at all. It should really almost drop into place. A couple of weird vents and ports I noticed here, like one on the front of the cowling. We might have to go ahead and cut that off and maybe add in a scratch built one or something like that, or maybe just drill out the one we have here. But either way, we are moving right along, and I think this is going to be a really, really fun build. But until the next episode, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to go check out Joe's build. I know he is already well into his 205, so go over there, check him out, give him a thumbs up, drop a subscription if you haven't done so already, and we'll see you back here on episode number 3 for our MC205 by Hasegawa. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.